Today, I want to talk about They Cloned Tyrone. This is a movie that everybody's been talking about. There's been a lot of opinions on it. There's been a lot of breakdowns. Very controversial movie. Very close to reality. I'm not here to necessarily break down what the movie means. I just want to share with you how close to reality this movie is. Like, how you can relate this movie to our reality. So let's get into it. First off, in the movie, there's this mass production of hood niggas. All right, you got a certain type of hood niggas that they're producing. You got pimps. You got dope boys, and you got prostitutes, hood rats. They mass producing all of these people over and over and over again, creating a cycle. In the hood, that's pretty much how it is. That's what everybody wants to be. That's what the media pushes out. Like when you watch, movies, you watch music videos, you listen to music, even social media. Like, a lot of people want to portray the gangster image, the pimp image, the player image. The women want to be like hoes. They're pushing hoe culture more than ever now. So it's this mass production of hood niggas, and it's like they want everybody to be that. And everybody wants to be that. Everybody sees this in the media, and that's what they aspire to be. The people that are in control in this movie are tapped in with all of the places in the hood that the residents frequent the most. So you got the clubs, you got the restaurants, you got the churches, the corner stores, just the places we frequent the most, the trap houses. They're tapped into all of these places, and they're all under surveillance, right? And at these places in the movie, they have elevators that lead to this secret underground laboratory. And that's where they're mass producing all these hood niggas at. In this laboratory, you got these white men with afros, as well as in the stores. The white men with afros run the stores, and they're in the laboratories doing the work. So they're at all these different places, and at these places they also have the products that's needed for the experiments on these black people. The products that's needed, that these people are addicted to. You understand? They got the perms. They got the fried chicken. And let me touch on this fried chicken, because in the movie, this is very important. In the movie, when they found this secret underground laboratory, they found a powdery substance. And later down the line, they found out that they're putting that powdery substance in the chicken. So let's bring this to reality, right? If you live in the South or you live in the Midwest, there's places that are owned by Middle Easterns, Persians, Arabs, things like that. And at these places, they sell fried chicken, they sell the fried fish, they sell shrimp, they sell French fries. And all of these, everything that they serve this food with is covered in this powdery substance. They call it lemon pepper. I was told what it was recently, but I forgot what the seasoning is mixed with. It's lemon pepper and something else. But if you ever ate If you live in the Midwest, you live in the South, these places, the most popular places are JJ's Fish and Chicken. Where I live, you have Snappers and you have Hooks Fish and Chicken. All of these places pretty much are the same. These places are everywhere in the Midwest and the South. There's more than just those three chains, and they pretty much serve that same formula. Fried chicken, fried fish, fried shrimp, a few other dishes like chicken breast, chicken fingers, corn nuggets and things like that. They put that lemon pepper powder on everything. And one thing I noticed is that, like, if you live in the hood, the people that live in the hood love that lemon pepper on their chicken, and some even want extra. But the people that just stop by, they never ate at these places. The people that are from like the suburbs and better areas, they try these places and they never like the seasoning. So it's something addicting specifically for those hood niggas in that powdery substance, like the movie. They put that in the chicken, and it's like the crack that keeps them coming back. In the movie, that chicken was making people laugh uncontrollably. It was making them act different. It's something they had to snap out of. And the pimp in the movie noticed that. He put two and two together. He noticed that it was the powder that was making everybody in the restaurant act like that, because everybody in the restaurant was laughing while they were eating the chicken. And in this movie, anytime you pretty much seen somebody sit down and watch TV, there was that commercial for that fried chicken was coming up. Anytime you see pretty much every time you seen them eating, they were eating that chicken. Pretty much every time. It was addictive. They were selling perms that had, some type of substance that made the black women react different in the movie. In real life, those perms, cause, bad things to happen to women over time. You can get cancer through it. It kind of ruins your hair, like not your actual hair, but your scalp. So it's bad for your skin. It burns your skin. A lot of bad things with that perm stuff. So, I've always advocated for people to just, black people specifically, to just wear their hair natural. And that perm stuff really does a number on. They were grape juice. In the movie, the grape juice had a substance in it that was making people act out. They were selling a lot of that grape drink in the movie. And, in reality, they have all of these sugary drinks, and they sell them in the hood, whatever, all the little corner stores. They sell these drinks. I'm trying to think what else was in the movie that was at these places. Of course, the drugs, drugs, malt liquor. Every day they was on this stuff. The women were under attack in this movie. Women are very important to any community. So the black women specifically in this movie were under attack. Like I just mentioned, that perm stuff was messing them up. In reality, that messes us up. The women in our communities, they listen to rap music. They emulate the rappers. They try to be whatever they see. They also emulate the men in the community. So like, it's a poisonous cycle that goes on, and the women are heavily affected by it. So they were attacking the women in this movie. They were doing experiments on the women in this movie. And if you have weak women, you're basically birthing a weak nation. If all the women are weak, there's no values being taught. The nurturing is pretty much bad. And people in a community are partially affected when their mother is not a loving mother. You know, that's like very emotionally damaged, and it holds weight on them for a long time, sometimes their whole lives. And it also affects their life, like it affects how they treat people, good or bad. It affects them. So having a mother that's not in her nature is very bad for children. In this movie, blacks were used as the workhorse, enforcement, and protection for the success of the white orchestrators. Okay, let me bring that to reality. Okay, we all know that white people are colonizers. We know that they lack talent, but they're good at ownership. They're good at swindling people. They're in control of the paperwork. They're in control of the money, everything that goes on in society. So what they do is they find people with talent and they basically work them out. They basically let them do all of the work. And from there, they take the credit, they get all of the money, they get all of the success, they bleed them out, they leave them out to dry, wash and repeat, rinse and repeat. All right? And they mainly do this to black people. Okay? So in this movie, they had black people working at these places, working the trap houses, working the churches. I'm not so sure about selling the chicken, but in reality, if black people, if there's chicken being fried or whatever, food being cooked, there's usually white people out in the front serving and greeting, handling the service part, and in the kitchen, there's black people cooking. So they're making people think that they're responsible for how good this food is, when in reality, it's black people cooking the chicken. In sports and entertainment, black people are the biggest stars. Black people are the ones who are able to do the incredible in sports and entertainment. It's almost inhuman, So they allowed them to be the talent. And they just sit back, collect, manage, take all the money. They pay them, they pay them enough to satisfy them, but it's really peanuts compared to what they're making. So black people are the workhorse for the people who are in control. All right? They have surveillance everywhere in this movie, as well as in reality. Surveillance everywhere, and while they're watching everything, they're also recording. They're writing everything down. They're mimicking behaviors, all so they can reproduce this stuff. Artificial intelligence. Basically, both of these go hand in hand. Artificial intelligence has been a big thing, a big subject in this last year, but it's been going on for as long as I've been alive, probably longer. Like I said, they watch and mimic everything that we do so that they can reproduce it and keep a cycle going while they do what they do without our knowledge. They're able to predict our behavior. So when we die, they're able to just reproduce us. And we go right back to routine. They understand our behavior very well. They know what we like. They know what turns us on. They know what turns us off. So they're able to control us through addictions, through vices. In this movie, whenever somebody dies, there's an instant reset to life. They basically die and then they come back to life as if nothing happened. They continue right back where they left off. You remember how in Men in Black, they'll have that little stick and they'll flash that memory, and boom, once you get that flash, you don't remember anything that's happened. So you can get killed, you wake up, and you don't even remember that you got killed last night. It's like it never happened. You're no longer wounded. You don't feel anything. So, you just wake up, watch and repeat. And in this movie, the main character, the dope boy, I can't get his name out right now, but he would die, he would wake up, go and ask his mother if she wants something to eat, whatever the case. You would hear a voice come out. He thinks it's his mother. It's artificial intelligence. It's a machine with her voice. She responds to him. He thinks nothing of it. She never opens the door for him. Okay? Once he leaves the house, he checks the trap. Checking the trap is basically, people owe him money, so he's riding around town looking for people who owe him money. He's checking in with them, getting his money. If he has to do something to him, he does something to him. From there, he goes to the store, buys either a 32 ounce or a 40 ounce of malt liquor and a scratch-off ticket. And he loses on that scratch-off every day outside of the store. And there's an old man sitting outside that always says something to fuck with him about that scratch-off ticket. He thinks nothing of it. He goes, he pours the old man a drink. The old man says something witty. And you really should pay attention to what the old man is saying, because it's really giving you clues to what's happening in the movie or in reality. He pours him something to drink, he says something witty, he walks off, he goes home, lifts weights, continues his day. He might go home and smoke weed. Whatever his normal day consists of, he's doing it over and over and over again. And this is what we're doing in society. We're basically repeating the same behaviors, staying in the same cycle, never growing, never progressing, as long as we stay within the hood. Now, if we make it out the hood, we can experience more and pretty much maximize ourselves. But staying in the hood, there's an energy there. There's a dark cloud over it. So it's like you're never able to progress because you become a victim, you become trapped. Things happen to you. Things are bound to happen to you. Staying in the hood and, encountering each other too much throughout the days or whatever the case, you're likely to get into something. So what I got from this movie, these clones, I didn't pay so much attention to the cloning. They do say that cloning exists and people are doing it. I didn't pay so much attention to that, but if that's happening, so be it, But just the mind control through consumption is pretty much cloning us anyway. Even if we're not doubling ourselves, our mindsets are being cloned. Because when you go in the hood, everybody talks the same, acts the same, walks the same, dresses the same. You get the picture? Within those hoods, not all over the hood, but within a certain hood, everybody pretty much does the same thing, and they just raise their children to be the same. But in the movie, the plan with the clones, the person that started the cloning was originally the dope boy in the movie, an older version of himself, or elder, if you will. He wasn't from the hood, or he wasn't a product of the hood. He was, I want to say a scientist, whatever the case. He was successful. Something happened. There was a nephew in the movie that got killed by a police officer. I don't remember the exact details of it, but through that situation, he made a deal with white people to do this experiment on black people in the hood where he's from, where the dope boy is from. But they're also doing this all over the nation. Turns out in the end of the movie, they're doing it all over the nation, like in reality. It's doing this experiment. They're cloning all of these black people. They're saving them for later. In reality, white people are dying out. Okay? In a few decades, supposedly white people are not supposed to be here in high numbers. So they need melanin to survive. So they're doing different things. Black people are dying. Black people are being kidnapped, like in the movie. And they're being kept. Their body parts, their blood, things like that are being kept. So in the movie, these clones are being saved. Even though they're being used to keep reproducing in the hood, they're still saving enough clones for the future. So you noticed in the movie there were white people with afros. They ran the stores, they worked in the laboratories, whatever the case. These white people were clones. Like in reality, when you have a mixed baby, they're not gonna be white. They're gonna be like close to white with a little bit of blackness in their skin. And their hair is gonna be altered. It's not gonna look like exactly like the mothers or the fathers. It's just gonna be altered. Afro comes out. You know, the texture of black people's hair is too strong to be made out to be straight like white people. So all the white men that were hosting all of these addictive things had afros. And they want these black people to be reincarnated, but not like niggas. They want them to be productive. They want them to be working businesses, you know, basically having black bloodlines, black talent, but productive, not stagnant like niggas in the hood. If you understand what I'm saying. They want them to be suburban blacks. They want them to be like Patrick Mahomes, if you will. He's a very accepted black man or mixed man or whatever, but he doesn't act niggerish or whatever the case. So this is what the plan was in the movie. You know, a resurgence of white people with a better bloodline. So this is pretty much what I was getting from the movie, and how I could relate it to real life. You know, we're controlled by music, we're controlled by food, medicine, behavior. You know, what we're seeing, what we're reading, we're controlled by all of this stuff. Okay? And we're only gonna display what we take in. Also, we're being monitored and I don't want to say reproduce, I'll say mimic, you know, with artificial technology. Okay? Devices are taking over humans' ability to work. Devices are doing work for humans, so a lot less humans are working certain fields. Cameras are everywhere. They're in our phones. This phone here is a camera. Also, there's a recording device, so it can listen in. TVs as well. You know, everything's just being used for them and against us. But yeah, We're being cloned by technology. People, you see the sex toys. People are molding their body parts. People are, they got these sex toys that can please women better than a man can. I've never tried a male sex toy, but over social media, people joke with those, and they're like, okay, if y'all women keep acting up, I'm gonna take this sex toy and I won't need you anymore. You know what I'm saying? People are really into that. People are really taking sex dolls and having relationships with them, having relations with them. So you got the artificial intelligence taking over. We're being controlled by consumption. We're being stagnant. We're being used so that white people can progress and keep us down. It's a lot. This is just what I got from They Cloned Tyrone. And I wasn't really trying to break the movie down. Like I said, I was just trying to tell you how close it is to reality, to our reality. So thank you for listening. Till next time.